Hello everybody, welcome back to Road Reg. So last time you would have seen me is when I met the lovely Isaac, who took ownership of the M140i and he's loving it. He's made a few modifications to the interior. He's done some nice M2 carbon, as in OEM carbon bits on there.
I'm going back to this because it's the only thing I found. I looked at Golf R's, looked
Really?
at Golf GTIs. Making this more capable means it's less enjoyable on the road. So you've really got to be honest with yourself.
And finally, it is car reveal time. Without further ado, let's have a look at what I've bought, guys. So this is an E91 2010 330D. Now you might be wondering, why have you bought a dirty diesel? And that is a very good question. And the answer is, one, I think the estates look hella cool. And two, I put a lot of stuff in the back of this car and I'm doing more miles now. So I needed well, I didn't need a diesel, but I can benefit of that extra economy from a diesel because I have got a longer commute now. I just think this car looks absolutely fantastic. And when I went to see this, they were actually having phone calls when I was at the dealership about this car because they're just not very common. They probably were 15 years ago, just like the F-Series is now. But this is not a common car. And you know what? I've had more compliments on this car than I've ever had on my M140i. I've had people come up to me in car parks and say, mate, that is a sick car. I really like these. And within about half an hour, I popped a deposit down on it. And the reason is you don't see many E91 330D full M Sports. And what makes this car a little bit more unique is what's under here. So because this car is an LCI model, it has the N57, not the M57 engine. Now, I have to be very, very careful about what I say about the M57 because that engine has quite the cult following, a bit like the B58. And I know why, because the M57 engine is one of the best six-cylinder diesels out there, next to engines like the OM606 by Mercedes. Those are two iconic 3-litre straight-six diesel engines. And this doesn't have that. Initially, I was a bit concerned. I was a bit worried. I was like, oh, you know, these guys have timing chain issues, mostly the four-cylinder. I was thinking to myself, when do you ever hear about an E91 or any E90 generation car with the N57 having timing chain issues? I've not heard many, and that's probably because they're less common. Fair enough. This engine is silky smooth. There's no rattling, there's no knocks. It pulls super hard, 242 horsepower and 520 newton meters of torque. And that is plenty of poke, whereas with the M57 variant, I think it's 211. So I really wanted that bump in power. And hopefully this engine serves me well. So far it's been great. I've been driving it for 3 weeks. Since I've serviced it and put some V-power in it, you know, changed the air filter, it's pulling really, really nice. In fact, let's have a listen to it. How good does that sound? And you know what? I love that injector tick. Do you hear that? That dick. I love that. That's one of my favourite things about this car. People know when you pull up somewhere or when you're parking and you can hear that high pressure fuel rail injector system pumping away, people know you're in something special and they know you've got some power underneath that bonnet. Well, that's what I think when I hear that sound anyway. They probably don't think that at all, but you know. So the car isn't in the best state at the moment. It needs a bit of a valet. It needs a reg clean. Oh yeah, ignore that. That was a dash cam. That's a B&W dash cam that was retrofitted by the previous owner. So there's a few things about this car which makes it quite unique. Obviously, we've spoken about the N57, quite a rare engine these days in an E91 generation because they only did them from 2010 onwards. But this has things like Pro Navigation, lovely, slightly worn beige seats. I wasn't a fan at the start, but actually I like the contrast between the inner bit of the door card and then this black bit at the top, you know, the top of the door. I think it makes for a really nice contrast, and actually it makes the cabin feel nice and light having the cream beige. I think it's called Oyster. We've got the wood dash, which I'm really not a fan of. This is all a bit scratched up. I'm going to get rid of this and put something different in, but we'll talk about that in a future video. We've got an automatic 6-speed with the same paddles as you get on the M140i. These are exactly the same, but they're just mounted higher on this steering wheel, and they work pretty well. This is no ZF 8-speed, let me tell you. Trust me, it's not that. But you know what? When you've got it in sports mode, it can change gears really, really quickly, and it's nice and smooth. You know, you get that classic torque converter slip in first gear, but I quite like that. It makes for a very smooth getaway. Perhaps not the sportiest feeling, you know, from a get-go, but once you are going, yeah, the gearbox is surprisingly good for being 15 years old. So this car has 96,000 miles on the clock. It's got quite a bit of service history. We've got heated seats, the aircon works, we've got the wood dash trim, which is a little bit scratched up. I'm not the biggest fan of that. I'm going to change that. It's just not a bit of me, if I'm honest with you. But we've got a 6-speed automatic gearbox. I think it's the 6 HP by ZF. Could be wrong there. You'll have to let me know. But interestingly, it's got the same paddles as the M140i has from stock. So I actually switched the paddles on my M140i to the OEM M2 paddles. But the original paddles are exactly the same. And this is 15 years old, this car. But they're mounted slightly higher, which actually is a little bit more comfy. So I'm not sure what the theory is behind lowering them. Maybe it's because this is a smaller wheel and it's also perforated leather on the sides. I just think it's a lovely looking steering wheel, you know. I like holding that. It's part of owning a car is, you know, you have to hold the steering wheel. You can't get away from that. So you want to make sure it's a nice one, right? And this is a nice one, so I'm happy about that. Space for bits. And how could I not mention the famous, one of my favourite features of an E9X generation car is the pop-out cup holders. Look at that! There's one here as well. Now, there is a bit of a flaw with this. I don't know about you, but when I'm driving about, if I go and get a coffee somewhere, like a takeaway coffee, I like to have a water with my coffee, like a bottle of water and a coffee, because coffee tends to dry me out and make me thirsty, so I like to have both. Now, you can do that, but you kind of have to reach over to grab it. So if your passenger has a drink, you know, you can have one each, basically. So, you know, you just have to sort of talk amongst yourselves to work out who's going to have what. So obviously, being an estate car, legroom is very important, and comfort in the rear is paramount. Let's have a go. Now, I'll tell you what, that is lovely. The main reason of me buying an estate car was the boot. Now, I know the newer generations have bigger boots because cars have gotten bigger, but this, have a look in there, look. This car has an extremely rare feature, and I'm going to show you it now. Now, if you'd like to put the camera just around this area here, all right, have a look at this. All righty. Are you ready? Brace yourself, everybody. Wow! It's got an electric tow bar. Have you got one of those? I don't think it's working fully. I'm not sure if you're supposed to pull it up to complete it. And look, if we just press this button, it should go back in. Ready? Yeah. Oh. Okay, so the second rare feature this car has is a built-in dog net. And then it just hooks in. It's a little bit fiddly, but it just hooks in. Yeah. Shit. yeah, I haven't quite figured out the finesse of how to do that, because it's quite stiff when you pull it out, and you have to get these hooks in at the same time, but it's just, I'm not giving up, guys. I'm not having that. Keep this in. Oh, I'm in that side. Okay. Yes, I did it. Look at that. There you go, look. What's really nice about this is, even though I don't have a dog, when I've got lots of stuff in the car, it's just nice to know that it isn't going to go anywhere beyond these headrests. So this is a nice little touch. This car also has adaptive headlights, which is something I've never had before. And I'll tell you what, it's quite a cool thing to have. Don't forget to subscribe to Road Reg, because we're going to be doing many more videos on this car, and we're going to really get under the skin of what makes this car so good. And I'll see you again in the next video. Take care.